Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Pep Talk Podcast. It's your host, Izzy Ross. What's up? How are you guys? I am starting this recording an hour before I have a movie tonight. Now, you may be guessing, what time is it? Oh, it's 9 o'clock. You might be guessing, what day is it? It's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. I have work at 9 in the morning. I'm going to a movie. Oh, 9:50 p.m. Ooh, that's a little late. Guess how long the movie is? It keeps getting worse. 3 hours? So your girl's not getting any sleep, is what you're hearing. My phone literally just told me, my Aura ring just said, if you want to have a good night's rest, start winding down and go to bed soon. Girl, I'm not going to bed for another, forever. I'm just not going to bed, period. And what's funny is I'm going with all of my coworkers. So we all work together, and let's just say all of us are going to be dead tomorrow. And let's hope that we can all make it on time to work in the morning. Because we all know, well, maybe you don't. I have an extremely hard time waking up in the morning. And so I'm just a teeny weeny bit nervous that it's not gonna go the way I plan it to go. So hopefully I can wake up at a decent hour. I wish I could wear sweatpants to work so badly. Um, Obviously that's not business casual, but a girl can dream. A girl can dream. You guys, I'm really excited for this week's topic. I immediately was like, I need to start this right now. Did I plan this out, write everything down? I write notes for every episode. But anyways, did I do all this a week ago? Yes, but I'm still excited to do this one. It's going to be fun. And as obviously you can tell from the title, we're going to be talking about friends. We're going to be talking about friendship, which sometimes is fun and sometimes not so much. So we're going to be talking about obviously the pros and cons of everything. And I'm just excited. So let's just dive right into it, shall we? When you go to elementary school or even preschool, you kind of just click with certain people and you obviously gain friends when you're a kid and you're with those people all throughout elementary school, obviously. And all of your friends are literally every single person in your grade. Obviously, maybe not every single person, but you're all just friends because it's a little tiny community of kids and we're all in the same boat. We're all friends. And obviously you're going to be more you're going to have more friends with the people that are in your class than not in your class. So for me in elementary school, it was 3 classes per grade. So there was maybe 80 kids total in my grade, which seems like a lot now that I'm saying that, but at the time it didn't seem like that many people. Anyways, but you have your friends, and if you aren't besties with them, you see each other every single day. You see him at recess. You guys, I miss recess so much. I wish I had that as an adult. I'm not even kidding. I loved recess. And growing up, I never really had a singular friend group. Like in elementary school, like I said, you're just friends with everybody. Obviously, there's cliques. There's going to be cliques even as children. And I know how insane that sounds, but well, maybe it's not. I feel like it's kind of normal. Your people find your people, but you don't have a singular friend group. I don't know. I guess I'm just talking from personal experience. And I mean, obviously, all of this is personal experience for me, but maybe you can relate. And so, personally, I never really had just one friend group growing up. I kind of just was, you know, friends with everybody. This makes me sound like I'm popular. I let me tell you, I'm not popular. I was never popular. All the way up till I graduated high school, I was never popular. We're getting that out of the way. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because if I was popular, who knows? Who knows what I'd be like? Nothing wrong with being popular, just not my forte. I low key miss those times though, when everybody was just friends with everybody. Like I'm like picturing all this and it's honestly making me so like bittersweet. It was just such an amazing time to be a kid. And I thought life was so like great, but also like so hard. Learning division for the first time is so complicated. You know, I, as an adult, still struggle with division, but, anyways, we're gonna move on. I say, like, growing up, there's some people from elementary school that I still talk to, but obviously, we're adults now. Half of the people I went to high school with are married or have children, which is bizarre to actually say and think about because, oh my freak, if that was me. Ooh. You know what? Good for them. It's crazy. It's crazy seeing people you literally grew up with being married, like married, they're married, let alone having literal children. Bonkers. I I miss my elementary friends, you know? Like in elementary school, I'm like trying to like the memories I have like in my brain, like the fond memories are at recess. I feel like that is all a kid really remembers from elementary school is recess. You know, I remember, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing, but I feel like every girl did this, where we would chase boys. We would chase the boys. And I was sometimes the leader. I was sometimes the leader. Like, also another thing from like childhood friends is like my ward or my neighborhood friends, which is basically the same thing. But like the neighborhood kids, that was a group. That was a tight group. Oh my gosh. We would play night games all the time. And even like I remember you, you go around knocking on people's doors. That's literally how you get people to go. We're doing night games at 7, meet at the church. Oh my gosh, I miss that so much. And I remember one time my best friend from childhood, he came knocking on my door and he was like, we're doing night games. And my sister and her boyfriend at the time, now they're married. Anyways, they were like, we're coming. It was so fun when not only the kids would play, but literally teenagers and adults. It was so freaking fun. I don't know if you guys know what this game is, but it's called Fugitive, where basically there's like I think it's just like I want to say the parents drive around cars around the neighborhood and you have to get from point A to point B without getting caught by like the parents in the vehicles, and if you're caught, then you go in the vehicle and you try and find other people. So it's kind of like hide and seek, but or like zombie in the graveyard. Is that what it's called? I don't know. But the people that are in the car can't get out of the car, so they can only see you from in the car. It's so fun, and we would play all throughout our neighborhood. They'd be like, okay, from so and so's house to the church, or from so and so's house to their house. Ugh, like that. Oh my goodness, it was so fun. Or even just like all like riding our scooters or bikes around the neighborhood was so fun. Young men's and young women's was so fun. Also, by the way, when I'm talking about ward and like that, I'm talking about the LDS Church, just FYI, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Little plug for you. Um, that was so much fun. And then obviously, as we grow up, we didn't play that anymore, which I miss so much. But yeah, there was like a specific group in my little neighborhood that was just so freaking fun. Like, I miss that. I want to name drop, but I'm not going to. I want to get emotional just thinking about it. I'm also supposed to start my period any day now, so maybe I shouldn't have chosen such a like cutie little topic. Your girl's gonna start crying about being a child again. Oh, but yeah. And then like also there's people that move away and you literally never see them again. I remember I had this friend in my neighborhood who I would go over and hang out with all the time. and we would bond over Monster High dolls. And then she moved, and I have never seen her again. And that makes me so sad. And I remember being so sad. Obviously, I didn't have a phone. Obviously, there wasn't social media. Well, there was, but not accessible for fifth graders, like, which is crazy because now third graders, second graders, first graders, I don't even friggin' know, have Instagram and TikTok and whatever the freak. It's just so bittersweet. And you never see them again. You never see them again. And I guess also when you graduate, you don't really see people anymore. But still, as a kid, it was really sad. I don't know. I just feel like growing up, like, as a kid, before, like, life got a little more serious, it was so easy to have friends. Obviously, was there drama? For sure. Was there some, like, no duh. Like, we weren't allowed to play kickball in our grade anymore because people started throwing the kickball at each other too hard and people got hurt. Or certain classes weren't allowed to go on the swings because they would jump off from too high in it. Like, one time I got in trouble for calling a recess guard a name or whatever. I can't remember. But, like, or so and so didn't like me, or so and so didn't like them, and it was just like, obviously there was drama, but we're children. But making friends was so easy, and I genuinely miss that, like, automatic connection, because making friends as an adult is so hard. It's so hard. Ugh. I don't know. And then, like, once you get older, it's hard because your old friends become too cool for you. You go to junior high and, oh, they become popular. Oh, they start doing cheerleading. Like, liking boys a little more serious now. So boys are obviously the priority, which, I mean, get your bag, girl, whatever. But, like, I feel like, you hit junior high and you kind of lose those friends because you're in a huge school than what you're, like, used to. There's a bunch of kids from different schools that you've never met and you're forced to be with every day. And then it's like there's, like, older kids everywhere. Like, you're used to the oldest people being 12 years old, where now they're like 15. It's weird. Like, you know, and obviously that can be a great thing too. Like, there's a ton of people that I met in junior high because that's just, it it's easier to make friends when you're in school, is what I'm trying to say, obviously. And oh my freak, everybody, I just feel like also it was so hard to make friends in junior high because everybody's going through puberty. Nobody knows who they are. You have more cliques than what you had in elementary school because it's just a different world than what you're used to. And so there's the weird kids, there's the cool kids, there's the semi not weird, semi cool, like, it's a very clicky. And in high school it gets worse. But I feel like I'm talking about school, but I'm more so trying to talk about friends. Obviously, that's the topic here. But, like, I don't know, and, like, making friends is fun too. I have, like, a lot of good friends from junior high and high school that I didn't meet growing up. Um, like, I have, like, memories from high school from, like, certain classes. Like, you had certain friends for certain classes. You were only really their friend if you had that class with them. For example, my math class, my sophomore year, I had friends in that class. We had, like, a group. Like, that whole class was just a group. Outside, didn't really know each other. I know that sounds bad, but it made the class, like, more enjoyable. My Spanish class, my sophomore year, had such a mixture of people in there, and it was so freaking funny. We had the drama kids, we had the band kids, we had the artsy kids, we had the nerds, we had the band kids. I think I already said that. I don't know. It was such a mixture, and it was so freaking fun. And I feel like those are, like, the best classes in high school because you're just all friends, you know? And it's not so clicky because everybody's in a different so called group. I'm doing air quotes, but you can't see it. Also, I feel like going into high school, you definitely, at least for me, I feel like I lost a lot of friends. Not lost, but just became very distant because in high school things started to get a little more serious, you know, and like people get boyfriends. Like, I feel like my only friends my sophomore year were my, at the time, boyfriend's friends. I literally would only hang out with him and his friends because making friends was really hard for me growing up, to be honest. I've always had an extremely hard time making friends. It's something I've always struggled with. But yeah, like when me and that person started dating my sophomore year, my friends were their friends. Their friends were my friends, which I kind of loved because that's another way to expand and get more friends is meeting them through other people. And at the time, it was my boyfriend. So, and also, like, that person, like, having a boyfriend in high school, I think is just like, you just have to have it happen, you know? Like, that's just a thing you have to experience, which I feel like everybody at some point does. And if you're in high school and you're listening to this, get a boyfriend. But if you're my brother Wrigley, you're not allowed to date anybody. Okay? Oh my freak. I can't even like oh, my brother Wrigley is 15, turning 16 going into high school in like a week. He's in high school in a week. Same with my sister Lexi. She's in high school. She's like already finished Road and Range, which I think is insane. Like I cannot believe that they are growing up. I feel like I just like started sophomore year. Like I feel like I just went into high school. I graduated 2 years ago, so that was what, like 4 years ago. I'm going to throw up. Oh my gosh. I'm so old. And the thought of them dating somebody, ugh, absolutely not. You guys are supposed to be literally like 5 years old. That's insane. And like in high school, seeing your elementary friends is very rare too because like you are with 100 bajillion more kids, you know? And so it's not like you're with your little elementary clique anymore. You know, you all grow up and you gain friends from other schools and you meet a whole bunch of other people. And if I'm being honest, I think I'm friends with like 3 or 4 people from elementary school, if I'm being so honest. Yeah, I don't even like talk to like 2 of them. Like we see each other on social media and that's about the extent of our relationship anymore, which is actually so sad and I love you and I miss you guys if you know who you are. The only really person that I think I've really stuck with from literally kindergarten is my best friend. Well, my best friend's my boyfriend. Okay? Like my bestie boo boyfriend. We grew up 3 doors down from each other and our families were friends and then we just have literally been like close friends for so long. Like it's crazy. Yeah, he's probably the only person from like literally early childhood that I still talk to like frequently. I don't know. Anyways, which so blessed to have that. I know a lot of people don't talk to any of their friends from like their childhood, which this is your sign. Reach out to your childhood friends, see what they're up to. That could be fun. That could be fun. Anyways, you know, like it's hard cuz you drift away from a lot of people and that's never fun. You never want to drift away, but I think it's just low key a part of life because everybody has their own life and you know you start growing up, you start to become your own person and some people have their own beliefs and yeah, like it's definitely sad for sure, but also it's kind of beautiful, you know? Anyways, but speaking about best friends, you guys, this is a touchy subject for me. Your girl has never had a permanent BFF. Now, when I talk about a permanent BFF, I'm talking about somebody that you have been consistently best friends with for years. Somebody that literally is like your sister. Now, I know I just talked about my close friend, but he doesn't count because he's a dude. I have never had myself a girl BFF. That sticks. You think that you're BFFs, but down the road, does it work out long term? No. Or they're your BFF, but you're not their BFF. Let me tell you, that is the worst feeling ever. And that happened to me in high school, and it was actually heartbreaking. I was like, you're my best friend. I would do anything for you. You're like my really only real friend. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're like fifth in line. I was never told that, but that's definitely that's definitely what I was getting down the line. And obviously, that was never fun. And like, girls are drama. Girls are so much freaking drama, but I just want a girl best friend so bad. And I saw a TikTok not too long ago about how it was like, this is your sign that if you don't have a BFF, I just met mine at 25 years old. Like, it's not too late, which, you know what, I love. And it's like, obviously, we didn't grow up with each other. We didn't see each other with a lot. Like, you're meeting each other a quarter way through your life. That shouldn't matter, though. Like, there's never a specific time, which, you know what, is kind of beautiful. And one person in particular that has really been a consistent friend has been my stepsister, Quinn. We met each other when we were 2 years old. Our parents got married when we were 2 years old. And we literally have been like friends and like best friends from 2 years old, because, we live together and we are sisters, and you grow up together, you experience a lot of the same things, and which I think is really beautiful. And I feel like a lot of people's best friends is definitely their sister, which I love that for sure. But with like with Quinn, we lived in different cities, so we went to different schools. And then in 8th grade, she came over to my school. Now, let me tell you, we argued and we bickered, and it was kind of a lot of drama because what is a girl without drama? What is a girl without drama? That's the realest thing I've ever said on this freaking podcast. Like, crazy. But yeah, Quinn was definitely somebody that I was consistently with throughout like life, obviously. And we were super close. And then sometimes we weren't, and then sometimes we were, and then sometimes we weren't. Sometimes we loved each other, other times we wanted to strangle each other. Like, there's like a note that my parents found in the trash can, and it was, I think Quinn had written it? Yeah, that's a word. Written it to me, being like, if you call me butthead one more time, I'm not gonna like you. Love, Quinn. Or something along those lines, like, which is so funny. But yeah, Quinn's then definitely a consistent, like, best friend in a sort of way for me. Also, like, having a best friend or somebody that at least you consider your best friend, and then one day just deciding that you're not friends anymore because of a certain thing is something that I've experienced one too many times. Now, I know a lot of people might be saying, okay, well, maybe you're the problem. I've done some digging and I've done some self reflecting for sure. I think I just attract the wrong people sometimes, which I know is not great. And I'm trying my best. But, like, you know, I had a friend and they just decided that this friendship wasn't working out. And we were too different. We grew up completely different. I guess our morals were different. That's for sure one thing that really was a roadblocker for us was our morals were not the same. We didn't have the same beliefs, I guess. I'm not sure exactly. That's what I got from the gist of it. And I guess she just decided I wasn't a good friend. I wasn't a good influence. I don't know. That's just what I took from it. That sucked. And I'm low-key still like bitter about it, I guess, a little bit. Something I still haven't fully worked through and gotten over. Like, we would still talk to this day. Like, I think I reached out to her not that long ago. Losing somebody that you think is your best friend is really hard, especially like when you have a hard time making friends, let alone losing a friend is like, oh, another one bites the dust. Like it just like it sucks. And it's hard because you go through all these like fun and difficult and emotional things with a person and then it's just kind of over. This sounds like a breakup, but it is a breakup. It's a friendship breakup. Those are real. In the moment, you just gotta be like, yeah, another one bites the dust, but also this may be a blessing in disguise. Like, it may be something that is not working out for a reason. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, sometimes just people are meant for you. And if they are, they'll come back. You know? Like, I believe that full heartedly. If it's meant to be, if it's meant to be, it will be 100%. 100%. After graduating high school, I feel like friendships definitely tend to shift for sure. And like going into your early 20s and adulthood, friendships grow. And like I said earlier, like there's some distance for sure. And it's really strange. Something that I like knew was going to happen, but I guess didn't anticipate to the full measure in a sort of way. But yeah, like thinking of friendships when you're a kid and an adult are very, very different because obviously in high school, you go from seeing this person, like seeing these people every single day because you're at school together constantly, or like, you live close by and you have a part-time job, like you have time to hang out with friends and you see your friends consistently. And then once you graduate, you think like that you still can have that relationship, and you totally can. Not saying that you can't. It's just a different kind of relationship. Like a lot of people, if you live in Utah, go on missions right after high school. A lot of friends leave as soon as they graduate. Senior year, I had a lot of friends that just, like senior year, you kind of don't show up as much. And you also have like different schedules and you have free periods. And so you're not seeing them as much, And oh, hey, do you want to go to lunch? Sorry, I'm at home already. Or sometimes I'm at work already. And then once you graduate, some people move away. I had a really close friend of mine move for college. She went to college in a different county than I did, and she was 2.5 hours away, and we barely see each other. Like I literally didn't see her for a full year, which sucked because like we were really good friends. And it's just hard to keep a friendship, kind of going, keep that spark going because life is so different than what it used to be, and everybody is going down their own paths and has a completely different life than what we used to, which you're supposed to. Like, that's a good thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, yes, go live your life. Like, I'm living my life. I don't live in the same, like, city that I used to live in. And, like, it's crazy. And, like, even moving out and being in a different city is so weird because I'm so used to going to a specific grocery store and seeing the same people. And now I am not even worried about running into somebody that I know. But like yeah, it's definitely a switch from going to your local grocery store and now having a different grocery store. It's hard to even like find friends outside of high school. Like finding a like adult friendships are really hard. I feel like because I graduated. I That summer I, kind of prepared. I still had my little part-time job. And then I started to look for what I wanted to do in the meantime. And it was either my parents were like, either you go to school or you get a full-time job. I'm not in school because I don't know what I want to do in life. Obviously, because I'm here doing a podcast, but obviously I want to do this. Anyways, but yeah, I didn't want to go to school just because I don't know exactly what I want to do yet, which is fine. So I have a full time job. And at first, I really struggled with this. It was definitely like an insecurity of mine because I have a really hard time making friends, as we can tell, and keeping friendships. And so I was like, I want new friends, like getting more friends would be great because, everybody moved away. Everybody's doing their own thing. Like life is just so different now. And so I want to make friends, but how am I supposed to when I sit in an office all day long and then I go home? Like, there's not an event essentially for me to go out and make friends. Like, does that make sense? I don't know, because like at high school, I know you're with the same people every day, but like, there's a shalloo of people you could become friends with, and it was definitely a really big adjustment for me, and it's still something I struggle with for sure. And if I'm being honest, the only like friends I really hang out with right now are the people I work with. Like, we have this little group at work, and I love it. And it's actually like it's really nice and I do enjoy it. It's just hard because I'm like, where am I supposed to find these friends? My mom's like, go out and do something. I'm like, what, run into somebody at Target? Like, talk to a random stranger, which is nothing wrong with that, obviously, but like, do you get what I'm saying? There's not places or like things for me to like go find a friend. Last summer, a little embarrassing to be honest, but it's fine. I ended up downloading Bumble Friends. So it's basically the dating app, but to find friends. And let me tell you, it was a weird experience for sure. It low key felt like I was on a dating app, but for women, and it was a little weird because I am straight and I have a boyfriend, which is fine. But it was also kind of embarrassing because I'm like, wow, this is really what I'm resorting to finding friends. But there was a lot more people on there than I thought. But it was just like it was weird because you like judge these people based on their profile and their interests and how compatible you guys are, and then like reaching out and being like, hey, we should be friends is always so nerve wracking and awkward to me. Like, I have a hard time with that. I don't know why, and I don't know if other people feel that way, but it just seemed very weird. And I wanted so desperately to find a friend, and I don't know. It was just like, oh, what's your Instagram? Let me follow you on Instagram. Oh, what's your Snap? Let's like be friends on Snap. And there's a couple girls that I like do have on Snap still to this day, and that I follow on Instagram still to this day. But do we talk? Did we ever meet up? Did we ever become friends? No. That was literally the extent of it, and I felt like I was weird, and so I deleted my account. But like, if you have it, and like, no shame to you. Like, if that's your vibe, that's your vibe. It just didn't work well for me, and I just didn't feel like it was a fit, which is fine. But yeah, it's hard because you don't have these things to find your people essentially. And then like when you do, it's also hard because even like with old friends or whatever, like I said, everybody has their own life, and I didn't really realize how difficult it is to plan things because you could have plans in advance. Like, I have a friend who is so extremely busy, and I wish I was that busy, but she has something different every single day. Not saying that's anything bad at all. Like I kind of admired that. And so it's hard to like figure things out because they're so busy. And so like it's in even like sometimes I'm really busy and I just don't have the time. And so like schedules don't align very well. And it's really hard to find a time where everybody can hang out together. It's difficult for sure. And you just have to prioritize your friends, obviously. You have to make time for them, and that can be a sacrifice in a way, but also it's a good sacrifice for sure. Not something that you regret in the end because, you're hanging out with friends and yeah, you just have to find time for the people that you care about for sure. You guys, tomorrow I am meeting up with somebody that I haven't seen or talked to since graduating. We were kind of friends in high school, and she's literally the sweetest, and I'm excited to see her. I have such bad social anxiety and I'm awkward and I get really nervous and I talk myself out of things constantly. I think that's why I struggle with meeting new people because I just get in my head, you know, like for example, when you start liking a boy, I guess, and you're like, this is just me. But I overanalyze every single thing that I say and I'm like, they don't like me. I convince myself that they think I am so weird and they think I'm ugly and they hate me. And to be honest, I do that kind of with my relationships to date, which I know is not good. I just get so in my head and I overthink every single situation and conversation and word that is spoken to the point where I low key go insane. I don't know if anybody else feels like that, and I don't know if it's something that I need to like get checked out. I just think I have bad anxiety when it comes to meeting new people because I don't want to feel judged and feel weird because feeling like I'm fine with being weird, obviously, with my last episode, but like there's a certain type of feeling weird and feeling judged because you're like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just be normal? And I guarantee you that she's probably feeling probably the same way. I bet we're both a little nervous, like we haven't seen each other in like 2+ years. Life is so different for the both of us. And like we were friends, but we were never close friends. And so it's a little nerve wracking. And I'm a little nervous, which I think is okay. And I bet you I am going to go and be so happy that I did. I just have to work up the courage and not like talk myself out of it. And even like with friends that I have known for years, like close friends, I get that way. I like, oh, sorry, I can't because I'm just so anxious about it, or I make up excuses, which maybe I'm a bad friend. But there's just some days, where it's just like it's too much for me right now. Other days I could care less. That makes me sound bad. I promise I'm a good friend, you guys. I just get really anxious about things. Like even like going to certain places, I tend to overthink everything. It's so hard. And I also feel like making new friends is really hard because most people already have like close friends and like best friends and people that they hang out with regularly. And so it's like, oh, why would you want another friend? Obviously, I know that most people probably aren't thinking that and they would be happy to have another friend. I'm happy to have another friend. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm open to everything. But I don't know. Also, I feel like in Utah, it's really hard to make friends because everybody is so extremely judgmental in this freaking state. It's unbelievable. And everything is a competition. Like, and I also feel like girls are kind of hard to have, like, girls are hard to be friends with because girls tend to be a lot of drama and they're not the nicest. Like we can be mean for sure. We can definitely be mean for sure. And I bet I've been mean plenty of times. Like, I can guarantee you I have been. I can guarantee you I haven't been the best friend before. I know that. But it's hard because most people already have their little group for sure, and it's always the one that have that one specific group from like elementary to high school, and they just stick and they're friends forever. And I just want to shout out to my friends that I do have, and I'm so extremely blessed to have people in my life that I can call my friends, that I can call my close friends, my best friends. And like, having friendship is very important in my life, and I think in everybody's life, because what's life without having a little friend, you know? Like, having somebody to have your back, and just somebody to hang out with, the shoulder to cry on, somebody to talk to, somebody to go do stupid stuff with, you know? Like, it makes life exciting and fun. And I really do value the friendships that I have, and I it's something that I'm working on, is to be a better friend. Like, we all have something to work on, and that's definitely one of mine. And is I need to do more reflecting and more digging and more analyzing myself to become a better person and a better friend, and somebody that I would want to be around, you know? And I think that's the goal. Become someone that you want to be around. And I just love my friends that I do have, and I'm very grateful for them. I am taking applications for friends, so hit me up. And also, here's your sign to check in on your friends. I was going through a really hard past couple of months, and I was not doing too hot. And I had a friend that I hadn't seen in over a year come drop off a little care package for me. And that was so unbelievably, like, insane. And I was so grateful. That was literally the kindest thing ever. And I had another friend come up and like bring me flowers. Like, it was, checking up on your friend really does matter, and it really helps, even if it's just a simple little text. And that's something that I need to work on. I know that I'm a really bad like texter. Like, I'll respond, but I'm dry as hell. I don't know how to talk. Obviously, that's the little awkward, anxious, nervous part of me. Is it goes through the phone as well. You think I would be different over the phone? Nope, I'm the same as I am in person. I need to work on that, reaching out to people. But yeah, this is your sign to check in on your friends and be somebody that they can lean on for sure. You guys, that's all I have for this week's episode. And I hope you guys liked it. And I know that I kind of probably sound really repetitive, and I apologize for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know. And if you guys have any suggestions on other topics that you would want to hear, please let me know. I am open to everything. So go follow me on Instagram, TikTok. It's Izzy Ross. Go follow the podcast, the Pep Talk podcast on Instagram. Yeah, I love you guys so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.